Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newsleader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, lawyers for Coffee County Schools says the state is not paying what they should for education funding. Motlow College will host a community service Saturday this weekend. We'll find out how well Tullahoma citizens complied with fireworks ordinances last weekend. The Highway 55 Summer Fest is coming up this weekend, and there's a new photography show at the Civic Center, and we'll tell you how to deal with those pesky ticks you'll probably encounter over the next couple of months. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's Newsleader on 6.
Hello, my name is Ray Norris. I'm a candidate for Alderman in the August 6th election. I'm a 49-year resident of Tullahoma and understand the needs of our city. I have an aerospace business background and worked for Microcraft for 31 years, helping grow that company from a 25-man regional machine shop to a nationally recognized company with over 700 employees. After retiring from Microcraft, I started my own consulting business and have been very active in civic and service organizations, including Rotary, in which I served as district governor for the eastern half of the state. As your alderman, I'll strive to bring new industry and retail business to our city. I'll be accessible and responsive. I'll listen to your concerns and I'll help you find solutions to your problems. I'd be honored to have your vote and serve as your alderman. Thank you.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
Welcome back. The state of Tennessee is shorting Coffee County schools by some $10,000 per teacher each year in salary cost and is paying for only 10 months worth of health insurance annually. This according to legal documents filed by an attorney representing the Coffee County system and 6 other districts across the state, which claims the state's basic education program systematically underfunds public education by some $600 million each year. The system's first sought more funding in a lawsuit filed in March. The state of Tennessee has asked a judge to dismiss the action.
Motlow College will hold a community service Saturday event this week in support of the Tennessee Board of Regents initiative to help ensure that Tennessee Promise eligible students complete the required 8 hours of community service by August 1st. Students will participate in outdoor campus cleanup, sessions on career exploration, service learning opportunities, and college readiness checkups. Motlow College will provide community service opportunities for students from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. At 8 a.m., official check-in will be held at the Crouch Center. Participants have the option of completing 8 hours of required community service in a single day, or they may complete remaining hours needed to satisfy the 8-hour requirement. Community service Saturday is being offered only at the Moore County campus. Lunch will be provided. The college-wide collaboration includes staff from the Student Affairs, Business Affairs, Academic Affairs, Human Resources, and Technology and Administrative Services divisions at Motlow College. This is one of several 2 institutions across the state participating in the event. Questions regarding community service Saturday should be held and directed to Brenda Cannon at bcannon@mscc.ed, or you can call her at 931-393-1548.
A familiar scam that continues to target Tennessee businesses is now in the spotlight of the Better Business Bureau of Middle Tennessee. The BBB recently added State Compliance Center, also known as SCC, to its list of misleading advertising products and services Middle Tennessee consumers and businesses can do without. The company received a D- BBB rating. SCC is requesting businesses pay nearly $90 to obtain a certificate of existence, also known as a certificate of good standing. The request is being mailed out across the state on an official-looking document. The standard fee to obtain a certificate of existence directly from the Secretary of State's Division of Business Services Office is $20. Letters being sent to SCC make it appear as if a certificate of existence authorization is required by law, but it is important to note a certificate is not required to do business in in Tennessee. Typically, a business requests a certificate of existence for specific business purposes like obtaining a loan or entering into a contract. SCC is a registered business in the state of Tennessee, but is not affiliated or associated with the Secretary of State's office.
Jim spoke this week with Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell about how citizens complied with the city's fireworks ordinances over the 4th of July.
Tullahoma Police Chief Paul Blackwell is joining us today, who says that it was pretty peaceful around Tullahoma.
It was pretty peaceful
over the 4th of July.
But as y'all were talking earlier, although the ordinance says there's certain time limits for the use of fireworks,
right.
People didn't seem to abide by that. In fact, on Sunday, which is a no shooting period,
right,
between 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night, we had 13 calls of fireworks.
Yeah.
And those are the ones we could get to.
Right.
My understanding, we had more, but the officers were just going from one to the other that they couldn't get to all of them. And getting that word out is important. We talked about it on your show. We put it in the newspaper. We put it on social media that, you know, when the hours are. Mm-hmm. And I think the majority of our community is tolerant during those times where the ordinance says you can shoot them.
Right.
But when you go outside of that time, the community starts to get a little upset about it. So we may have to get a little more forceful enforcement-wise in New Year's if we have that problem.
Right.
You know, we like to warn people, but again, we've given them enough prior notice of what the hours are. They need to abide by it.
Did anybody actually get arrested for that shooting?
No, and that would be a citation. We didn't issue any citations for it. You know, our philosophy is educate people, but you reach a point too where you have to say, okay, we've educated enough.
Right.
Now, you know, we have to take some action.
Okay. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment with more Newsleader on 6.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
It's new car discount season at Stan McNabb Chevy, and we have prices that'll beat anybody else. New vehicles up to $17,000 off. Check out this brand new 2015 Chevy Sonic, only $14,600. Chevy, Buick, GMC, Cadillac. Stan McNabb has all the new car brands you love in one location. And don't forget, we'll match or beat any dealer's price or give you a check for $500. And check us out online or schedule your service at stanmcnabb.com.
Welcome back. Thunder Radio's Highway 55 Summerfest is coming up this Saturday. Peggy Burton spoke with Samantha Waters and Hannah Stovall about the event.
You know, I could just go off the set and relax because I got more energy on this stage than we've had in a while. Hannah Stovall.
Hello.
And Samantha Terrell Waters.
Yes.
I always have to remember to stick in that last night. You girls are always doing something, and you're going to talk about Summerfest, so take it away.
We are super excited about Summerfest. It's this Saturday, and nerves are getting a little bit crazy, but we're so excited. It used to be the All Things Guy Show, and we did have that last year, but we have changed the name, and we've added a whole lot more to it and changed the location because girls like cars.
Sure, they
girls
do.
Like motorcycles.
And music and
shopping. Mm-hmm. Of course. And
so
you have lots of vendors.
Yes, we do. We have a ton of vendors.
And what time does it start?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock until
9 p.m.
9 p.m. So it's a long process, and it's a free event.
Yes, free admission, but please bring money because we have vendors that want to make money, and we have charities that we want to raise money for.
And this is United Way's. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. All of the beer proceeds, there will be beer, goes to the United Way of Coffee in Moore County. And then we also have Kimbo's Wish. They're going to be a beneficiary of the poker run money. And Tullahoma Daycare, all of the proceeds from the t-shirts go to
I think we should tell people what Kimbo's Wish is. I think that's so special. You want to tell that, Samantha?
Well, Kimbo's Wish, they provide for families who have children going through a rare disease or struggling with cancer. They provide money for them to be able to travel back and forth with all the hospital visits.
Tremendous expense
Yes.
that people don't think about.
They'll buy a Christmas for a family
That's wonderful.
going through all that.
And
they
grant a wish. They grant a wish.
Yes.
Do you want to mention some of your sponsors and your entertainers? I know you have some wonderful entertainers.
We do, and this event is, I mean, an event is expensive to put on, and we absolutely could not do it without all of the sponsors that we have. We want to thank Al White. He's our title sponsor in Manchester. Also our event sponsors are Linex of Tullahoma, Rodney's Body Shop, Cars Custom Auto and Rod Shop out of Manchester, Linmore Truck Accessories. We've got a lot. Newton Nissan South.
So let's don't leave anybody out. Now
Pop
that you're
Hardware.
started.
I'd rather read it instead of forget somebody.
That's all right. It's all about cars.
Mainly.
Mainly,
yeah.
yes. And music and the motorcycles. But Middle Tennessee Business Network and Rodney's Body Shop, they are bringing American Idol finalists to be able to perform on the stage.
Jessica Muse.
Jessica
We're really
Muse.
excited.
Do you remember, when was she?
She was in season 13.
13,
She was
okay.
number 4 in the finals round, and she has a very deep, rich voice.
Yeah.
Kind of like Stevie Nicks.
Yes,
So what
definitely.
time does she
Yes,
perform?
yes,
Do you know what time
definitely.
she performs?
I think it's 4 o'clock.
Around 4
Jessica
o'clock?
Muse comes on at 5:30.
5:30.
For about an hour.
And Laura McCormick?
Yes, Laura
She's
McCormick.
a Tullahoma girl.
Yes,
She is. She graduated with me,
I
actually.
know, and I think that's awesome. Did you have a little pull there?
Well, maybe a little.
Maybe a little?
It's like, Laura, please. No, she was actually really excited to come and make her debut performance back in
And what is her
Tullahoma.
style of music?
Kind of like a bluesy soul
Sort of
country
bluesy soul
sound.
crossover, more of a crossover than just one solid genre of music.
She's got an amazing, her voice is almost haunting as high as she gets.
And do you know what time
everything.
her performance is?
She is at 4
It's at
o'clock.
4.
Yes.
She's at 4 o'clock and then 5:30. So if you only love music, come to music. But there's so much to do.
There is.
Do you have any? You have tractors. You have cars. What else? Motorcycles.
If it's on wheels and you think
it's
it's
on wheels, you
awesome,
can bring
You can bring your lawnmower. If you really think it's cool and you
it's
want to
cool
enter
and
it.
you got it painted nice. And
Yeah.
It's looking classy.
And there's going to be trophies in all different categories.
all
So you
right.
can win prizes. There's also going to be prizes given away to people who enter
Yes.
into
And you
the
can
car
buy
show.
food to eat there, I'm sure.
Yes.
Lots of food.
And entering the car show is completely free. It doesn't
So if you
cost
have a
anything.
car that
Right.
you want, do you have to get it approved or you just call up? How do you get it in the parade?
You just, anytime
Or in the
between
exhibition.
11 and 3, you
Just
can
drive
just
in?
cruise
Roll
in.
up.
And you'll check in, you'll get your number, and you'll go park your car and show it off, and hopefully you'll walk around and
And
eat.
are
and
there's trophies for the best car?
there are, and they're all People's Choice Awards.
Yeah.
So everyone that comes
Gets
in
to
will get a
vote on
slip
the
of paper
car.
and be able to vote for their favorites.
Well, let's don't forget, it is this Saturday,
Yes.
starting at 11. 11
The registration for the poker run is at 10, but they will take off at 11. That kicks
Okay.
everything off, and then the festival starts,
So
the
bring
live
your
music
mama
starts.
and your cousins and everybody in God's green
Yes.
earth that you know, and bring some money.
And if you play
get
cornhole, we have a cornhole tournament
Oh,
that day
fantastic.
too. Rutledge Falls Baptist Church is
Well,
doing
Hannah
that as well.
Stovall and Samantha Waters, you two just make me smile.
We'll be right back in a moment after these messages.
The wait is finally over. The 2015 50th anniversary Ford Mustang is finally here. This is one awesome vehicle. Let me give you a few stats on this V8 Mustang. 435 horsepower, independent rear suspension, 25 miles per gallon, and this is the one you've been waiting for. 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. Don't blink an eye or you'll miss it. Come by Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Winchester and check it out. The 2015 Mustang, the all-new redesign, will leave you speechless.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. In conjunction with PAC's presentation of the Tony Award-winning play Rent, a couple from California has brought a gallery photography show titled Word on the Street to be displayed at the South Jackson Civic Center. The photos show young people who live on the streets as well as quotes from them about life. Newsleader's reporter John Gray met with them and brings this report.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, I'm at South Jackson with Joe Photo and Denise, and they are here with a pictorial show called Word on the Street. And they're going to tell us why they're here and how they got here. It's in conjunction with Rent being done by PACT at South Jackson Civic Center. And tell us your story.
This project began about a year and a half ago. Denise and I traveled to New Orleans for Mardi Gras 2014, and Denise had bought me a Free Hugs t-shirt, and I thought that we were going down to photograph the partying and the whole scene in New Orleans, and what I found was that there were many people, specifically kids on the street, who were sort of daring us to, like, hey, is Free Hug for me also? And we were like, yes. And we ended up hugging a bunch of kids on the street for the next 4 days. And I really didn't do very much photography. I really felt inspired. It was, I believe, a calling from God to bring me back down to New Orleans to start a photo project with the street kids that we had met when we were giving out the free hugs. And that's how this project began.
And Denise, how did you end up in Tullahoma?
Well, it's a bittersweet story there. We made friends photographed a young lady named Zoe. Her name is Julia Anderson. That's her real name, but she goes by Zoe on the street. And she was murdered in March of 2014, this year, 2015. We had a mutual friend who's Robert, who is the director of Rent. And he found Joe and I and our project on her Facebook website, contacted me and asked me if we would consider doing a gallery show here in Tullahoma. And we said, of course. Most of them have had very difficult childhoods, and as a result, they have a very hard time with authority. So they want their freedom. They want their freedom above comfort, which most of us choose comfort over freedom, or the degree of freedom that they require. They don't want anybody telling them what to do. They don't want anybody controlling them. You know, they're really, really intelligent. They've learned things on the street that you can't learn living under a roof and in comfort. They've learned things which you're going to read, you'll be able to see on right next to their portrait. Words of wisdom that really, they're quite brilliant. So one of the things that we've learned is that we want to help the public and the street kids connect, because these kids need to feel valuable. They don't. You look at them and you see a lot of dirt. That's an expression of what's going on inside of them. They live with nothing because they feel like nothing. They live in the dirt because they've been told that they're dirt. You know, in some of the communities, they call them gutter punks. The kids call themselves dirty kids, but the community will call them lazy and bums, and they're not. What we've learned is that they're amazing people, and they have great value. And if we'll just take a moment to ask them some questions, or smile at them, or engage with them in any way, you'll see a really bright spirit there. Mainstream society, we have a tendency to be able to hide it pretty well, our messiness, but we're messy. And they just accept one another's messiness and their journey, and which is why they call that their family. And I kind of think that we have a tendency to do that, whether that's in a church setting or any other place in a community, is that we find people that agree with us and accept our lifestyle, and we don't feel judged in that little environment. But if we could expand that, like that's one of the things that this show is doing, is it's showing that it's so important to love one another. We don't have to agree with what everybody's doing, but we can just accept that that's the path that they're on and just love them.
Try to share that message with our community by bringing the play Rent to Tullahoma and bringing you two great folks with your lovely show right here from Southern California to Tullahoma. Thank you so much for coming.
We'll be right back in a moment after these messages.
It's your trademark. That's something special everyone knows and remembers. It's your thing. It's made holidays special for decades, and summers unforgettable for the entire neighborhood. It's made everyone laugh every single time. Don't let illness or injury keep you from doing your thing. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. As we approach the hottest months of the year, ticks in our area become much more prevalent. Let's watch this video on how you can protect you and your pets from the diseases they carry.
Like fleas, ticks are blood-sucking parasites. They attach themselves to their host and remain attached for an extended period of time, often several days. During this time, the tick will become engorged with blood. This extended feeding period makes the tick an ideal carrier for various bloodborne diseases. Common diseases transmitted by ticks include Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Lyme disease, and ehrlichiosis. Only a small percentage of ticks carry these disease-causing organisms. These diseases, when present, occur more commonly in certain areas of the country. It is important for you to identify the specific tick-transmitted diseases that are common in your area. It is also important to recognize that some of the diseases ticks carry can also be spread to humans. A tick-infested environment not only puts pets at risk, but also their owners. Removing a tick from an animal should be done with care, not to squeeze the body of the tick while pulling it off. Careful handling reduces the chances of infusing infectious debris and organisms into the animal from the tick. Grasping near the head of the tick where it has attached itself to the animal and creating gentle pressure will often be sufficient to initiate its release. Gently pulling the tick straight out away from the skin is usually adequate. Once the tick has released, clean the area thoroughly with alcohol or hydrogen peroxide to help reduce the chances of infection. Dispose the tick in a small jar of alcohol and save it if possible. This will help for identification of the tick to determine if infection has occurred. You may sometimes notice two ticks attached to the skin and hair. These are mating ticks. The female ticks will become quite engorged with eggs and will often obscure the presence of the male ticks. As many as 8,000 eggs are contained in some engorged ticks. The female tick will detach herself from the dog or cat and return to her environment to lay her eggs. Most ticks infecting dogs and cats will need 3 hosts to complete their development. Upon hatching, the young seed ticks will search out a source, such as a rodent, for their first meal. The seed ticks will feed on this first host for a few days and then drop off to molt to the nymph in the environment. After several weeks or months, the nymph will often climb to the tops of the grass or weeds and wait for a passing animal. Once they have clinched on a passing animal, they quickly set out to get a blood meal. The nymph will feed for a few days or a week and then drop off to molt to the adult stage. The adult stage will then seek out a host on which to feed. Because of the large number of eggs they lay in their environment, it becomes extremely important to control ticks, not only on the pet, but also in the environment.
So the reason you don't want to really hurt the tick is actually that the tick is feeding on you and salivating. And so when you burn the tick, it salivates even more. Pretty much you're scaring it and it just goes bleh into you. And that's what you want to avoid, because in the saliva you have potential pathogens. So you want to avoid that. The safe way to remove ticks is to take your tweezers and you want to go as close to the skin as possible. And you want to hold on to your tick, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to hold on and you're going to pull straight up. Slowly, steadily. You don't want to twist, you don't want to jerk, you just want very steadily to hold on to your tick like this and pull up. Like that. Now you have your tick. The mouth parts are there. People worry about not having the head stay into you. They don't really have a head to speak of. All they put in there is little mouth parts. They're sinking their teeth into you. And so the teeth, when you remove them that way, you can see them. They're right there. The place where you had your tick, always a good idea to disinfect with alcohol and to monitor the area just to make sure. Wood ticks don't transmit Lyme disease, so you wouldn't have a problem with that. That said, they are a little critter that lives in the wild, and there could be some kind of bacteria, or even just because there's a hole in your skin, you could have staph infection or anything like that. So just clean the area with alcohol or soap and water, and keep an...
We'll be right back in a moment with your weather forecast right after this.
The Kia Summers on Us sales event is going on right now at Russell Barnett Kia of Tullahoma. Let me tell you about this event. Purchase a new Kia Sedona, Kia Optima, Kia Forte, and receive 0% financing up to 66 months and your first 3 payments for free. For a limited time only, no strings attached. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. The Kia Summers on Us sales event going on right now. Why buy anywhere else?
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1930 at 98 degrees. The record low was in 1947 at 51 degrees. Average high on this day is 88 and the average low is 67. Mostly clear weather expected tonight with a low of around 68. Partly cloudy weather in your forecast for Friday with a high of 89 and a low of 68. And partly cloudy weather remaining in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 90 and a low of 71. And we want to remind you folks that the Tullahoma High School girls soccer team will be having a car wash this Saturday morning on July the 11th at Walmart. So you folks get out there and get your cars cleaned up this Saturday morning. That is our Newsleader report for this evening. We invite you to tune in each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good evening.
And from all of us on Newsleader 6, wishes you and your families a wonderful weekend. Thank you.